So the big issue for meditation, and actually for human beings, is the, in general, is the mind states. Mind states can drive you crazy. Mind states can lift you up. Mind states can make you feel blissful. Mind states can make you deluded, conceited, noble, suicidal. You can kill yourself for a mind state, and you can run a marathon from mind state. You can sail a yacht around the world from mind state. You could sit in your room in a state of complete despair for a mind state. With a mind state, so these are the ones that lead us, aren't they? 'Cause the ones you can't get away from mind states. Yeah. And they all feel the experiences, this is what I am. So we trapped that sense of what I am. We identify not through choice, but it's just the reflex. So your presence adopts the mind state as me. This is the kind of fundamental wrong habit to make how I feel into what I am. We can't say we don't feel things, but there's a translation that occurs where the heart feeling becomes adopted by presence into this is what I am. And really you could say, one way of looking at liberation is that this is how I feel, but this isn't what I am. That sense you can let the feeling be there, but it's not actually taking you away from the sense of presence and groundedness and spaciousness, and here we are, it's just another thing. So otherwise there's always that movement into some kind of overwhelm, or the edge of overwhelm, which is very frightening. When you feel like the wave is just breaking over you, and there's fear, and then the fear just, is the fundamental movement that takes you out of presence. It's sort of panic, fear, anxiety, can't cope. Oof. So this is the reaction we have to learn and quell and dismantle. This can't cope too much, can't manage it, giving up on ourselves. That's the most important thing. It'd be nice not to have unpleasant feelings at all, but to have optimized, have more pleasant or agreeable ones. But first of all, let's work on not, that overwhelm reaction that makes one lose presence. So we just spin out. The mind states. The mind states are composed of, or made up of, 3 particular factors. And it's useful to, it sounds a bit clinical, but it's useful to, when you meditate, as you meditate, to understand this, because the basic way of coming out of the grip of mind states hinges around the fact that mind state is not one thing, but 3 things. And if you can separate, it's rather like you take one leg off the tripod, the other 2 don't stand up anymore. So we take one out. The three factors are called feeling, the sense of pleasure or displeasure, and perception, which means the meaning of something, or something feels like, we might say. So we often use the word feeling in a blurred way to just cover everything that's emotive, but perception is not, technically is not feeling, it's the meaning, what this feels like. This feels kind of friendly, this feels rather unfriendly, this feels threatening. So that's a perception, it's not a feeling. Feeling is just pleasure or pain. The perception is the interpretation, is the meaning of something, and that triggers off a feeling, doesn't it? So if something feels like it's threatening, then the feeling is unpleasant, I would imagine. Depending on how you're wired, if you like being beaten up. But so the feeling is this great sudden charge, this rush of chemicals in the system. The third thing is called the sankara, which is an activation signal. So rush, hide, freeze, lock, fight, give up, collapse, move. It's this kind of it's the reflex activity, the activation. Yeah. It's called sankara. Sankara means a number of things, but just use it simply in this sense. It means the do it bit. Do it, and first of all, psychologically do something, which could mean, just tighten up to defend yourself, or it could mean lash out to protect yourself. It could mean hold on to something that's comfortable. It could be, deepen into something that's enjoyable, or it could be ignore it and go somewhere else. So these kind of fight, flight, grab, snuggle down, faint. These are the kind of basic movements that the mind does. So these three. So when you get a very painful feeling, then there are certain responses that occur. Be just to defend yourself, toughen up, close down. Could be to run, scramble, or it could be to just collapse. Or various things. You get these kind of rushes, reactions. So, when we cultivate, this activation thing is karma. That is it's mental karma, which is the primary source of karma. Action. So there's an effect as you react, as there's some kind of reaction, and you follow it, you go for that. Then you establish a kind of a pattern. Now we might get that kind of reaction of run away, but then something is no, just wait a minute. Let's not act upon that. And so you get the kind of karmic impulse, but you can also not act upon it. But when you act upon it, then you establish a pattern. That becomes a tendency. So that your mind then goes down that avenue more often. And so a lot of what we do as practitioners is we feel the feeling, we get the perception, and we feel the reaction, and we just say, wait, stop, this isn't good. Just, maybe let's wait for a while, let's breathe in, breathe out, and release that reactions, and just look again, check out whether that reaction's really suitable or necessary. So this is a kind of one thing we do, isn't it? If you're angry, feel angry and upset, just hold it. Feel the feeling in the body. Feel that energy in the body, and just breathe in, breathe out, check it out. Come to a place of coolness and steadiness, and then look again at what triggered that. Triggering was the meaning. He insulted me, she let me down again. They did this, the fridge doesn't work. You get angry with the fridge, kick the fridge. Get angry with the car, kick the car. People do these things, don't they? Get angry with the computer, hit it. You see how utterly futile and pointless it all is. Because the thing doesn't care at all. When we had a gardener, he was a kind of frantic gardener. He used to, in the early days at Chithurst, and we were trying to build a pathway, and the sun was blazing down, and he'd shake his fist at the sun. because it was too hot, so you kind of get angry at the sun. I think there's absolutely no point at all. You're angry at the sun. But somehow this sense of, the reflex is so strong that there's some sense if you act upon it, it's a sense of feeling you've released it. But you haven't actually released it, you've established it. So this is always the thing to acknowledge, that we sometimes feel by acting on these feelings, the pressure's off. It's true. You suddenly are not in that kind of pressurized because you just blew it out. But what you've done, you've established karma. It means that that's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. It's like scratching an itch. Oh, that's better. Oh, suddenly it's flaring up again. So even though it's kind of difficult not to act upon these strong impulses, there's a wisdom in saying, well, just wait, wait till that wave has passed. Look again. And we go back to the perception, of what's happened, the perception, the meaning of being invaded, being trashed, being let down, being disappointed, whatever it is. And then, how much do you take in other people's actions? How much is it really? Do you have a way to not take in other people's actions? Even if they are unpleasant, hostile, do you have a way to not get infected with that? Is it possible to live in a world where people are wise, understanding, calm, compassionate? One guess. And nothing ever goes wrong, nothing frustrating. Everything works on time, exactly in accordance with your wishes. No, you got it, no. Therefore, there's that sense of, oh, this is always happening to me. Why am I, people and things, just when I wanted to do this, that kind of thing comes up. So that's the meaning. And the meaning is it's getting at me. The universe is set up around me, and everything in the universe has got its eye on me, how to wind me up and disappoint me, frustrate me. It's got no other plan apart from this. I think you're taking life a little bit too personally, But perceptually, that's the way that's the way it feels, When that computer breaks down, it's definitely a personal attack. on a perceptual feeling, because that's what happens. That's what it adopts an experience and translates it into me. That's what perception does. It's just a function, because it's there as a built-in function in nature. To mean perception means something outside comes in, is taken in, and there, is it taken into one's presence, and a presence adopts it as something to do with me, because it comes to the chitta, the me sense. So it's something to do with